I'm Zahir, Kelvin Abdullah, and this is Nightline. The top stories. Social media and online messaging platforms with 8 million users must apply for a license from August 1st. And hot and dry spells in Malaysia expected to ease next week. Social media and online messaging platforms with at least 8 million users in Malaysia must apply for a license from the government from August 1st. The Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission said this is part of a new regulatory framework to ensure a safer online ecosystem. In a statement on Saturday, the MCMC said the license requirement will be enforced from January 1st next year, adding that failure to obtain a license after the effective date would be an offence and appropriate legal action can be taken under the Communications and Multimedia Act. The MCMC also said the regulatory framework is in line with the Cabinet's decision requiring social media and online messaging platforms to comply with Malaysian laws as well as to combat cybercrimes. This includes addressing scams and online fraud, cyberbullying and sexual crimes against children. Previously, these platforms were exempted from licensing requirements based on the Communications and Multimedia Licensing Exemption Order 2000. The MCMC also stated that this new regulatory framework only applies to services that meet the licensing eligibility criteria and does not involve its users. Previously, Communications Minister Fahmi Fadzil called on social media and online messaging platforms to be more responsible and ensure their platforms are free from criminal elements. The Malaysian Meteorological Department, Met Malaysia, expects the hot and dry weather conditions currently affecting most areas of the country will ease by next week. Its Deputy Director General of Operations, Muhammad Hisham Muhammad Anib, said this as some areas in Peninsular Malaysia are expected to start experiencing rain soon. According to Hisham, the hot and dry weather is caused by 2 tropical cyclones in the northeast of the Philippines and the South China Sea near Hainan Island. This has led to drier and less rainy weather in the country.
Ribut tropika ini kita jangkakan sedang melemah dan insya-Allah pada awal minggu hadapan beberapa tempat di negara kita terutamanya di Semenanjung akan mula menerima hujan. Namun begitu, musim monsun barat daya kita masih lagi panjang. Kita jangkakan monsun barat daya akan berakhir pada pertengahan bulan September nanti.
Meanwhile, 4 areas in the peninsula are under heat alert, namely Larut and Matang in Perak, Kuala Muda in Kedah, as well as Pasir Mas and Kuala Krai in Kelantan. 2 other areas also experiencing similar conditions are Bintulu and Sri Aman in Sarawak. All of these areas have recorded maximum daily temperatures of up to 37 degrees Celsius for 3 consecutive days. Now in Perak, despite being known as the wettest town in Peninsular Malaysia, the lake and ponds at Taiping Lake Gardens are experiencing a nearly 70% reduction in water levels. According to the Taiping Municipal Council MPT, prolonged hot weather and low rainfall have led to the drop in water levels. Visuals of several parts of the 133-year-old Lake Gardens drying up over the past 2 weeks have gone viral on social media. MPT President Khairul Amir Muhammad Zubair said that the lack of river water from Sungai Buloh, which serves as a water source for the ponds, also affected the water levels of the lake and ponds in the recreational park. Taiping Lake Gardens, which was once a tin mining site, has several water bodies within it. However, they are not used for domestic or agricultural purposes. All of these ponds also function as detention ponds to prevent flash floods in Taiping town. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim and Raja Permaisuri Agong Raja Zahir Sofia graced the royalty reception at Istana Negara on Saturday afternoon. The royalty reception was one of the events organised in conjunction with the installation ceremony of Sultan Ibrahim as the 17th King of Malaysia on July 20th. Among those present at the event held at the main banquet hall were the royal couple's children, Tengku Temonggung Johor, Tengku Idris Iskandar, Tengku Panglima Johor, Tengku Abdul Rahman, Tengku Putra Johor, Tengku Abu Bakar, as well as Tengku Tun Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria and her husband, Datuk Dennis Muhammad Abdullah. The event, which started at 3 p.m, was also attended by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim and his wife, Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail, as well as 1,200 guests, including cabinet ministers, members of parliament, foreign envoys, and heads of government departments. A video presentation of the installation ceremony from last Saturday was among the highlights of the event, alongside an orchestral performance by the Malaysian Army Cultural Troupe. The body of former National Unity and Community Development Minister Tan Sri Dr. Siti Zahara Sulaiman was laid to rest at 11:30 a.m. at the Section 21 Muslim Cemetery in Shah Alam, Selangor on Saturday. Earlier, the funeral prayer for 75-year-old Siti Zahara was performed at Surau Platinum Al Mawadah in Section 7 before her remains were transported to the burial ground at 10:40 a.m. The burial was attended by family members and close friends who came to pay their last respects to the former UMNO Wanita chief. Siti Zahara's second son, Jati Zulkarnain Samaruddin, said his mother died at Serdang Hospital on Friday night due to old age.
Almarhum ibu saya, sekiranya dia ada kesalahan ke, maafkan dia, dan selama dia bekerja di bahagian di pentadbiran kerajaan, ingin meminta maaf kalau ada kekhilafan dia, salah silap dia, mohon maaf, dan kita berdoa agar almarhum ditempatkan di kalangan orang-orang yang beriman.
Siti Zahara leaves behind 4 children and 12 grandchildren. Born on April 24, 1949, she held several key government positions, including as Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department in 1986 and Deputy Health Minister from 1995 to 1999. In politics, she served as Pahang UMNO Wanita Chief, UMNO Supreme Council Member, 5-term Member of Parliament for Mentakap and Paya Besar, and UMNO Wanita Chief. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim has extended his condolences to Siti Zahara's family following her passing. In a post on his Facebook page, Anwar said that Siti Zahara was a close friend from his time in UMNO. He also described the former Wanita UMNO chief as an efficient, committed and persistent leader in championing the party's struggles. Anwar added that he also mourns her loss and prays for her family to be granted strength and for the late Siti Zahara to be given the best place by Allah's side. Also expressing condolences and offering prayers for Siti Zahara's family was Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi. Zahid, who is also UMNO president, stated in a Facebook post that the late former minister was an extraordinary woman who showed remarkable resilience in facing every challenge. 2 men, including a senior citizen, were killed in an accident involving a trailer and a pickup truck in Temerloh, Pahang on Saturday. The crash occurred on Jalan Temerloh Karak near Kampong Desa Bakti. Footage of the incident caught on the dashcam of another vehicle and shared widely on social media showed collision between the trailer and the pickup truck. It was believed that the driver of the trailer had suddenly lost control of the vehicle, which then rammed into the pickup truck on the opposite lane. According to a spokesperson from the Pahang Fire and Rescue Department, 6 individuals were involved in the accident. The driver of the pickup truck, aged 79, and his passenger, a 46-year-old Chinese national, were pinned in the vehicle. Both victims were pronounced dead at the scene by emergency responders. 3 other passengers in the vehicle, including a 9-year-old boy, suffered serious injuries, while the 63-year-old trailer driver was also hurt. The injured victims were sent to the Sultan Ahmad Shah Hospital in Temerloh for treatment. The bodies of the 2 deceased were also sent to the same hospital for post-mortem. Lance Corporal Muhammad Alif Monjani, the policeman charged with the murder of University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, UPSI graduate Nor Farah Kartini Abdullah, will be suspended from duties. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein said that Bukit Aman has accepted the recommendation to suspend the 26-year-old accused from Perak Police Chief Dato' Azizi Mat Aris. Alif, who is attached to the Slim River Police Station in Perak, was charged with murdering Farah Kartini at the Kuala Kubu Baru Magistrates Court in Selangor on Friday. It was reported that the victim went missing on July 10 after delivering a rental car to a customer in Tanjung Malim. Her body was found 5 days later in an oil palm plantation in Kampong Sri Kledang in Hulu, Selangor. Razaruddin previously said the police force would not protect the policeman if he was found guilty. The charge under Section 302 of the Penal Code carries the death penalty or imprisonment of between 30 and 40 years, along with not less than 12 strokes of the rotan if convicted. Malaysia aims to rank among the top 20 global startup ecosystems by 2030, and achieving this target requires a whole-nation approach. Malaysia Venture Capital and Private Equity Association Chairman Ng Sai Kit said that making this happen requires addressing many facets, including focusing on specific economic sectors.
The Prime Minister has been talking about E&E being one of the significant industry. We also need to talk about talent. Therefore, I think in terms of the national policy and strategy, we talk about how to bring very established startups to establish the office over here, and thereby with a bit of a spillover in terms of the talent. We also talk about how do we need to make sure that we also attract enough capital to be based here. Then we have a really robust ecosystem.
Ng said this during TV3's business and financial talk show Money Matters aired on Saturday. He also noted that the prompt deployment of investments into the startup ecosystem would immediately create jobs for Malaysians. Furthermore, directing some of the capital into innovative startups that are developing new technologies will drive research and development R&D, which is crucial for fostering long-term economic growth and maintaining a competitive edge in the global market. Still to come, Israeli airstrikes on Gaza school kill at least 30. Stay with us.
Bagai?
Bagai? Bagai?
Oh, peradannya teka peribahasa.
Ya, boleh teka tak? Aku nak hantar penyertaan di bigtree.com.my. Mana tahu boleh menang gadget.
Jangan lupa, clue hanya di papan iklan digital Big Tree sehingga 31 Julai. Layari bigtree.com.my untuk info lanjut.
Acik dengar sini Acik. Masya nak cakap.
Ni geram sebab apa? Tadi korang tak nak buat apa-apa. Sekarang baru tergigit nak potong bawang lah, nak potong kuku lah.
Acik nak masak tengah hari kan. Acik tak payahlah. Tak ada siapa tengok Acik punya jasa tu keluar sekarang tengok Melody. Sejam je pun.
Macam-macam. Apa marah-marah ni? Kenapa marah-marah ni? Tak marah, geram je.
Marah tak ada saja. Keluarkan perasaan Acik. Cepatlah kita nak gosip dengan Acik ni.
Betul tu. Makcik-makcik ada apa semua? Kalau nak tengok gosip panas, jangan lupa saksikan Melody setiap hari Ahad 12.30 tengah hari hanya di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
We're back with news on the foreign front. Israeli airstrikes hit a school being used by displaced people in central Gaza on Saturday, killing dozens of people and wounding more than 100 people as the country's negotiators prepared to meet international mediators to discuss a proposed ceasefire. According to officials, at least 30 people sheltering at the girls' school in Deir al-Balah were killed in the attack, including 15 children and 8 women. The Zionist regime meanwhile claimed that the strike targeted a Hamas command and control center used to store weapons and plan attacks. Civil defense workers in Gaza, however, said that thousands of displaced people were sheltering in the school, which also contained a medical site. To date, Israel's genocide on Gaza has already killed 39,258 people and injured 90,589 others. The 1.4 million litres of industrial fuel oil inside a sunken Philippine tanker has started to leak into Manila Bay in small amounts, prompting the Coast Guard to call for suspension of fishing in the busy waterway. The MT Terra Nova sank in bad weather following Typhoon Gaimi early Thursday, killing one crew member and leaving the country potentially facing its worst oil spill disaster. According to authorities, the oil slick has more than tripled in size from Thursday and is now estimated to stretch between 12 to 14 kilometers across the bay, which thousands of fishermen and tourism operators rely on for their livelihoods. It was reported that divers who inspected the hull of the vessel on Saturday saw a minimal leak from the valves, adding that it was not alarming yet. The Coast Guard, however, has warned that if the entire cargo leaked, it would be an environmental catastrophe. In the meantime, oil containment booms have been deployed for what authorities earlier described as the worst-case scenario of the cargo leaking out. Over in China, more than 27,000 people in the country's northeast were evacuated and hundreds of factories were ordered to suspend production as Typhoon Gaimi brought heavy rains. Gaimi lashed towns on China's coastal Fujian province with torrential rains. And also strong winds as the most powerful storm to hit the country in 2024 began its widely watched trek from the southeastern coast into the populous interior. Officials said heavy rains caused water levels to rise in 40 reservoirs across Liaoning province, with the area expected to experience torrential rain from July 28th to July 30th. Hundreds of chemical and mining companies across the province have also suspended operations and nearby residents have been relocated to avoid flood risks. The storm, which killed dozens as it swept through Taiwan and worsened seasonal rains in the Philippines, has affected almost 630,000 people in China's Fujian province, with almost half of them being relocated. In another development, 3 out of 10 French high-speed trains will be cancelled on Saturday on routes hit by a series of coordinated arson attacks. French Prime Minister Gabriel Attal said in the meantime, security forces will continue to search for the saboteurs responsible after rail networks were paralysed ahead of the opening of the Olympic Games. National Rail Company and SNCF, meanwhile, said services which do run on Saturday will be delayed for up to 2 hours on major lines running in and out of Paris, while a quarter of Eurostar services will also be cancelled. Services are expected to return to normal by Monday morning as rail staff work all night to repair damage. So far, there's no claim of responsibility for the strategic vandalism. In the incident on Thursday, saboteurs cut and set fire to specialized fiber optic cables essential for the safe functioning of the rail network just hours before the Olympics opening ceremony was due to begin in the capital. Badminton contingent gets off to a convincing start. Action from Paris after this short break.
Kekal cakna, kekal sihat. Hello Doktor merungkai pelbagai persoalan kesihatan anda.
Penyakit kronik, pemakanan, kesihatan mental, semuanya demi kesejahteraan anda.
Setiap minggu bersama tenaga pakar kesihatan terbaik Malaysia, segalanya terjawab dalam Hello Doktor setiap Ahad
5.30 petang di TV3
dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Situasi semakin tegang.
Tolong ya. Sekarang ni kes dalam siasatan.
Medan operasi unit gerak khas kini berhadapan dengan cabaran tidak terduga.
Makin brutal suspek-suspek tu pun.
Polis, serang! Gerak khas The Finale setiap Ahad 11.30 pagi di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Kita mestilah bertemakan rock.
Alami kuasa rock.
Tu saya baca betul-betul fokus betul-betul.
Kamu lah, rockers mana pernah fokus? Bedal je lah.
Dari tadi kau buat kerja host, aku perhati je.
Energi tanpa batas.
Kenapa, baby? Pasti tidak mengecewakan.
Kita tengok macam mana, baby.
Tapi kita tengok buat.
Baby pula.
Hampir gagal.
Inilah pasal jika mempercayai wanita. Aku seperti...
Nantikan Ahad ini 9 malam di TV3.
Sports, the 2024 Paris Olympics. The national badminton contingent had a mixed opening of their gold quest on Saturday. Two doubles got off to a winning start, while another national duo suffered a straight set defeat in their first group matches. Top national men's doubles pair, Aaron Chia, So Woo-yik, began their Paris Olympics gold medal quest with a hard-fought win over Britain's Sean Vendy Van Lane in Group A. The world number 4 had to come from behind to overcome world number 18 Vendy Lane 19-21, 21-16, 21-11. In the mixed doubles event, Chen Tangji, To Iwei survived a scare in the first game before winning their opening Group D match. Debutants Tangji Iwei beat Singapore's husband and wife pairing of Terry He, Jessica Tan 23-21, 21-12. Tangji Iwei are now in good position to make it to the quarterfinals as they will play Americans Vincent Chiu, Jenny Guy next. National women's doubles shuttlers Pearly Tan and Tina, however, failed to follow the footsteps as they narrowly went down 17-21, 20-22 to China's world number 1, Chen Qingjian, Jia Yifan in their opening Group A clash. World number 13, Pearly Tina, who were making their debuts in the Olympics, fought back from 18-20 down in the second game to tie the scores at 20-20, but the formidable Chinese pair snatched the last 2 points to win the match in straight games. Pearly and Tina will face Japan's two-time former world champions Mayu Matsumoto, Wakana Nagahara next on Sunday. Earlier, China took the first goal of the Paris Olympics on Saturday. Teenage duo Sheng Lihao and Huang Yuting outscored Kyum Ji-hyun and Park Ha-jun from South Korea 16-12 in the closely fought final of the mixed team 10-meter air rifle. Kazakhstan grabbed the bronze. China then went on to bag another gold medal with a superb victory in the women's synchronized 3-meter springboard final. All-conquering Chinese divers Chang Yani and Chen Yiwen bagged the first Olympic gold of their careers as they romped to victory with a total of 337.68 points. One of the most celebrated sports events in the world kicked off officially on Friday. A historic boat parade down the River Seine launched the Paris Olympics with spectacular French flair as the City of Light welcomed the world's greatest athletes for the sporting extravaganza. Braving torrential rain, some 300,000 people lined the riverbanks to cheer on the Armada, carrying competitors past the city's iconic sites, the Eiffel Tower, bearing the 5 Olympic rings, the Louvre and the Notre Dame Cathedral. The wildly ambitious display was the first time the Olympic opening ceremony has been staged outside the main stadium, making it the biggest ever launch for the greatest show on earth. But that gamble also made the ceremony hostage to the weather, and spectators, VIPs and athletes alike found themselves drenched or huddling in transparent ponchos. The Malaysian contingent was represented by 6 athletes and 4 officials at the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games. Led by flag bearers diver Bertrand Roderick Lises and sailor Noor Shazwin Latif, the contingent exuded elegance and confidence as they meandered along the 6-kilometre route on the Seine between the Austerlitz and the Lena bridges before a grand finale at the Trocadero with laser beams from the Eiffel Tower shining over the flotilla. After a stunning light show at the Eiffel Tower, French track legend Marie-José Pérec and 3-time Olympic judo champion Teddy Riner lit the Olympic cauldron, which formed the base of a hot air balloon. Canadian superstar singer Celine Dion closed the show with a solo performance from the platform of the Eiffel Tower, returning to the spotlight after revealing she was suffering from a rare illness. 2 prostitution syndicates crippled. This and more from the local front when we return.
Tanam padi dalam pasu, tekad dan usaha pasti membuahkan hasil.
Kita sendiri yang nak tentukan kita ni biasa-biasa ke, luar biasa ke, setkan matlamat hala tuju kita fokus je.
Dia berani mencuba, dia tak buat separuh jalan lah.
Kita nak masak satu resipi istimewa dari Pulau Tioman, laksa pulau.
Saya Nek Daniel, jangan lupa saksikan saya di Nona hanya di TV3.
Pencalonan baru Music 39 minggu ini. Semuanya dalam Music 39 Ahad ini jam 12.20 tengah hari di TV3 dan stream secara langsung di aplikasi Tonton.
Cabaran hidup pesakit kanser.
Tahu je ada kanser, terus tanya doktor berapa lama lagi boleh hidup.
Dan doktor sahkan memang hanya 6 bulan je untuk hidup.
Pengesanan awal meningkatkan peluang untuk sembuh.
Kanser bukan satu perkataan macam pasien dapat kanser, dia akan mati. Sekarang treatment ada banyak.
Kanser bukan satu pengakhiran. Kami bincangkan di Hello Doktor, Ahad 5.30 petang di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. A major immigration department operation in Negeri Sembilan and Selangor led to the arrest of 117 people and the crippling of 2 prostitution syndicates. The operation, which saw raids in 7 areas around Seremban and Sri Kembangan on Wednesday and Thursday, was carried out after 2 weeks of surveillance by authorities. According to its Director General, Dr. Ruslin Juso, those arrested include 32 men and 85 women of various nationalities. He added that during the raid, some of the women believed to be working as guest relation officers, GROs, hid in secret rooms to evade arrest. There were also foreign customers and locals who tried to provoke immigration personnel, but the enforcement officers managed to control the situation. A mobile phone, tablet, 41 passports and over 7,000 ringgit in cash were also seized during the raids. Ruslin stated that the syndicates offer massages and other services to local and foreign customers. Those who visit the premises would pay between 400 to 900 ringgit for an hour with the woman of their choice. 10 local men, aged 27 to 63, who are suspected of being caretakers at these premises, were also detained. All the foreigners aged between 15 and 53 are from Vietnam, Indonesia, Bangladesh and Nepal. Only 19 have valid travel documents, while the rest have expired visas or no valid travel documents. They are currently being detained at the Lenggeng and Bukit Jalil immigration depots for further investigation under the Immigration Act, Passport Act and immigration regulations. In Kedah, a 15-year-old boy is feared to have drowned while trying to save his younger sister from drowning in an incident in Pantai Chenang, Langkawi on Saturday. District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Shariman Ashari said that the victim was still missing as of 7 p.m. The victim, Muhammad Izam Hakimi Azizi, went swimming with his younger sister and two friends. However, they were believed to have been swept away by strong waves due to bad weather. It is believed that Izam tried to save his sister but drowned and has not yet been located. The three other victims managed to be rescued by members of the public at the beach and were taken to the Sultanah Maliha Hospital, where they are reported to be in stable condition. The search and rescue operation is still ongoing, involving the police, firefighters, as well as Civil Defence Force and Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency personnel. This concludes Nightline this time around. We leave you with visuals of a friendly football match between TV3 FC and JPJ Selangor FC. The match was held to strengthen the relations between the two entities, and the result, 5-0 to JPJ Selangor. You've been with me, Zahir, Kelvin, Abdullah, for the past half an hour. Thank you and stay safe, Malaysia.